God is good, and today guys we're going to be talking about RuneScape because they're coming up on their 20th anniversary and they wanted to do a major update and refresh to their character models for the player controlled characters, the ones that you make in their character creator, and it's very huge, it's very substantial, and actually I'm going to tie this into other old school MMOs, so stick with me as we do that. Now before we begin, I do want to give a big major shout out to the members of Napalm. Thank you all so very much for your support. I could not do this without you. You keep this channel alive. Thank you. And if you're interested in helping support this channel, please click the join button down below for more information and a list of perks. And a very special thank you to Reiko, our highest tier member. Now I kind of listened to the devs talking about this update to their character models and what they're trying to get out of it, why they're trying to do it, and that's what I want to explain in this video and just kind of give you a kind of sample of what's coming for RuneScape players. Now obviously this is a player character model update, which goes into more than just the models. I mean, you got to figure the hair, the beards, the things that they wear, the armor, all that kind of thing, and the animations, right? That's something where EverQuest did an update many years ago, by the way, and they didn't get the animations right, and a lot of people don't like those models, and a lot of reason why is because the animations look completely silly now. When they were just the same animation plopped on a new model, it just didn't work out so well. Now, the main reason, from what I gathered from the developers, that they want to do this update is because, first of all, they want the game to be attractive to new players. They also went on to say that they feel that the bond between the player and their character actually begins at character creation. They think this is a great step to modernize their game and for keeping RuneScape relevant. Now, keep in mind that everything I'm showing here is a work in progress, and they do not have a release date yet for the launch of this refresh of their avatar update. Now, RuneScape is 20 years old, well, almost, and has evolved so much over the years from its original release, and they want to continue to evolve it in order to continue to get new players in their world. So they looked at their available tech with their engine, and they found the best way to approach this without breaking the game. Now, even though the character creator is much more varied than it used to be at launch, with over 60 hairstyles if you include the beards and stuff, they want to take the mesh and the textures and refresh them simply to add more fidelity, to look more refined for their 20th year anniversary. The devs also talked about they aren't trying to redo the engine and the base of the game just yet. However, they did say that should they decide to do that, then this character refresh would be a good step that could carry over. They went through researching players through focus groups, technical investigations, concept work, and research on base bodies, concept work on hair and costumes. Then they worked on proving that the new meshes work in the game to replace the old ones. Then they tested and worked with all the animations to make sure that they support the new meshes, and they're still working on that. It appears they are also in production mode, which is building all the meshes, the kits, the hairstyles, and integrating them with those animations. Now this is quite a project, if you can imagine. A game this old has lots of costumes or things to wear, and all those things have to be revamped as well. So it's quite a big deal, and I just gotta say that this is the kind of thing that old school MMOs need to do to stay relevant, right? I would say the UI being refreshed in a lot of old school MMOs is maybe the first thing you should do, but it just is one of those things where I see RuneScape doing this and I'm like, wow, I wish Daybreak or Dark Paw Games would do this for EverQuest, right? That's an old school MMO that I absolutely love, and I think we would all love to see if they did it correctly this time, if they would make and refresh the character creator and the models and just start with the tunes, right? Then you can start slowly updating the characters in the world, and that's what I'm hoping they do here with RuneScape, is that same thing, right? You can start with that. Now, of course, the character models, some of the NPCs out in the world, I should say, actually are better built, right? Like created with more current technology, right? And look a lot better than the actual character models, which are much older than some of the updated content and things like that. Same as you would see in most old school MMOs. Even EverQuest, you'll run into mobs and things that were created much later that look way better than your character base model looks, right? So this is what they're doing. I thought it was pretty exciting, and like I say, I think a lot of old school MMOs should spend the time in trying to do this to their game as well, because I think this obviously creates some excitement and gets people back to your game, makes people, you know, new players to want to try your game, because they're right, man. There is a bond. It begins growing as soon as you create that character in your MMO. It starts right there. And a lot of times, if the character creator is total garbage, it's it's more difficult for you to feel that connection with that tune and to feel like that's a representation of you in that fantasy world. So this is a wonderful first step, and I'd be remiss to not mention that World of Warcraft did an update right before their newest expansion at the time of this recording, and it brought back a lot of people. Like, everybody wanted to see the new character creator and make a tune, or go to the barber and get their new hairstyle, or whatever the case may be. And it was a very big deal, right? And I think, of course, that wasn't the only factor, but I think it did have a large portion of the success rate of the launch from the very beginning, or people pre-ordering Shadowlands, was because of that change. It really is a big deal, and I'm glad they're doing it. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. Are you excited about it? Do you play RuneScape? Do you not play RuneScape? Do you maybe wish they would take your favorite old school MMO and do something similar like this? And I know it's a complicated thing, but it's totally worth it if you can get more players to play your game, and this absolutely will do that. Let me know what you think about that in the comments as well. And guys, don't forget to drop me a like and feed that hungry YouTube algorithm for me. And of course, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. This is what we do here. We cover MMORPGs and discuss updates and everything going on in them. And of course, we play them, and as well as RPGs, JRPGs, CRPGs, and all that kind of thing. Before we go, I want to give one last big shout out to the members of Napalm. Thank you all so very much for your support. I couldn't do it without you. If you're interested in becoming a member and helping me and this channel, please click the join button down below. And a special shout out to Reiko, our highest and only highest tier member on the channel. And until next time, guys, God bless and happy gaming.